All right. Welcome back, guys. Welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for all the new subscribers who are coming and joining. Thank you very much for all the likes, shares, and comments. And I've spent hours and hours trying to fix this audio issue that I was having. Finally, I can tell you the audio issue is resolved. So please let me know in the comments, in the chat, if you are, and also the chat has been fixed as well. So let me know if you're hearing me perfectly, if there's any issues, any lags, any kind of a dropouts or anything like this. So there was a lot of issues basically with the software that I was using and everything. Now luckily everything's been fixed. Also the frame rate and everything has been fixed. You know what, spent a lot of time. But anyway, guys, the image you're seeing on your screen, right? So what you're seeing on your screen today is something I posted yesterday on Twitter, and I actually put down, I said, very interesting. And what I saw was this breakout about to happen, and I put two lines, right? So what I did was I looked at this particular area and I measured this, right? Very simple. I measured this high to this low, this bottom here, right? And I said, right, what's the issue? What can we do if we did go up, and what can we do if we went down? So this is what I did. I put this and I said, okay, bottom side, we're looking at this is a target if we do drop. And if we do break out, then basically we should go above this line, right? So I did put the breakout around this area, and funnily the breakout happened here, and which was okay. I mean, you can see on the wick it was okay. It did break above the line. It did exactly what it's supposed to do. So that was quite cool, seeing that. But the question is what the hell is going on right now, right? That's what the whole thumbnail was about, right? It's not a clickbait, it's the truth. What the hell is going on? And I've been going on about this for some time now. So this whole week, last whole week, sorry, I've been going on about it. What I'm seeing in the markets, right? Daily, I'm seeing 10, 15 new shit coins coming on basically, which is kind of worrisome. That's number one issue that I'm seeing. Also, let me double check if the live chat is active. If you guys are here, say hi, thumbs up, and let's see where we go from here. But yeah, just if you have any questions or anything, guys, fire away. I'll definitely answer them. There was a few in the comments. I'll talk about those as well. But yeah, if you have any coins or anything you want me to talk about, definitely just shoot, and then we'll continue talking. Unfortunately, I did put subscriber only, guys. I'm trying to boost my channel. Please do understand. So I'm being transparent with you. I want to get as many subscribers as possible, get as many viewers as possible. The channel's doing awesome so far. We are growing rapidly. I can actually probably even show you how rapidly we've been growing. So let me just show you this before we move into the new place. Let's just show you what I'm talking about, right? It's all because of all the subscribers and everything. It's just been awesome. Live chat works. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me just show you what's been happening with the subscriber count and everything. It's been going awesome, right? It's just been fantastic. I mean, looking at all of this, looking at the channel analytics, right? We're looking at the live subscriber count. We've got one more new subscriber. Look at that. It's awesome, right? So this is the kind of stuff we're looking for. We're trying to grow the channel. I mean, if you know, 6 months ago, I had nothing here. 6 months ago, this channel had zero. Like, there was about 2-3 subscribers. That was it. It's been growing rapidly, growing every day, and it's been awesome. If you look at this, like this is on a 28-day. If you look at the 7 days, it's been fantastic. So I'm just telling you, being transparent, why I've activated the chat only for the subscriber only chat. You want to know something, you want to ask me a question, please subscribe. It does support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. Like and share the videos with people if you find value. Right, let's get back into the content right now. So enough talking. Let's get to the content. Right. So what we were talking about, we're basically looking at the market cap, right? So we're at the 2.14, right? So you can say 2.15, like that's what they're saying, $2.15 trillion, right? We just round it off to $2 trillion. We're in the $2 trillion market cap, but we see this $114 billion of trading. That's like 0.5% of the entire market cap. Right, and I've been trying to figure out, why is this market pumping? What the hell is going on? I mean, last night when we broke out of this specific channel, when we broke out of here, we were sitting at $25 billion here, and we were sitting at about $16 billion here. Again, look at all of this. If you do the maths, right, that's 52 billion here out of this 114, right? So where, where is the volume? Is this actual real volume? Is this volume coming from these big boys here, big giants here? I mean, we know Cardano's been pumping hard, which is good. That's great volume. And in fact, Cardano's volume in the 24 hours has not even changed. Very small amount of change, but it's been pumping, and we can see that reflected here. But when we're looking at BTC and when we're looking at Ethereum, we're not really seeing much happening. we're not seeing much happening. I want to see a lot more volume happening in these, right? For us to know that the market wants to go up. But so far, altcoins are pumping. Altcoins definitely pumping, doing their thing. So question now is basically, now that we've done this breakout, great. You know, we've gone to where we wanted to go. We've come back down now. So what's the latest thing that we could be expecting, right? So we broke out of this channel. This channel now doesn't really matter. We don't really need this anymore. What we want to do is basically go here and start tracking this. More importantly, track it on actual data. So if we start tracking it here and we try and see if we can find a pattern, we do find a pattern here. If you look at these bodies, right, where we had this particular zone here, it gives us a lovely little trend line, right? It's a brilliant trend line. This means that we should see a nice little rebound here, which would be positive if we got this rebound, right? So coming back here, I expected this anyway. I've been telling everybody, the guys, that $50,000 is going to be very tough for us to hold, and it's a key level that we have to break above. So, you know, now that we're here, we're going to see this, and then hopefully let's have another bounce and test this again. That would be our confirmation. So what you're seeing here is hourly candles, and what we're asking for is a daily candle, right? So on the hourly candles, you can see that, you know, it went up, it broke above, it did everything it needed to do, but it didn't really give us the confirmation that we're looking for, right? What we want is a confirmation telling us that that's where we want to be, right? It doesn't matter where we come back and bounce, as long as we get another one going up there confirming that. That's what matters to us, right? So this is a 4 hourly candle, and you can see, right, that was a confirmation candle, that was a confirmation candle, this was a rejection candle. So what we need to do is now get another candle up here, confirm that that's where we want to go, that's the direction we want to go. And also on the 4 hourly, you can see we're getting a slightly different data. On the 4 hourly, we're seeing this, right, this being more of the channel, right? So this is more of the channel, which means that the rebound on a 4 hourly we're expecting is something down here at this price and then shooting back up, hopefully. So the price we're looking at is the 49,000, give me 1 second, 49,284. Hey bro, what's happening? How you doing, guys? Honestly, KR, I'm loving your BTC icon, bro. I'm loving it. All right. And Tanvir, I believe you are Adil, yeah? So yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions, please do fire away. I'll shoot it at you. No worries, man. Right, let's go into the daily. Have a look, right? And again, you can see the massive rejection we saw on the daily. So you see, when you're looking at the shorter time frame, everyone's getting all excited because, oh look, we just did this. No, we didn't, right? Because the real data is here. And also, even if you look at the hourly, for example, and if you start doing the line chart, you can see that we only spent you know, few hours, and it was around 3 p.m. when we broke out, sorry, 3 a.m. last night when we broke out, and then we got rejected today at 2 p.m. right? So it wasn't long, 11 hours, we just stuck up there and then came back down again. But that's not the data we're looking for. We're looking for higher time frame data, and you can see that that's what is showing that we did get massive rejection. We don't want to be around that area. And I'm going to show you the older charts so you understand what's going on, right? So let's have a look. So daily, we didn't get a confirmation. So yeah, we broke out, we got rejected. Happy days, we're back here right now. Super, it's okay, everything's okay, right? Also, another thing I want to show you was, this actually is quite cool as well. If you look carefully, if I put a support line here, this is a support line. We just broke the support, guys. So we're still above, which is okay, right? But this is the support we need to hold. This body cannot go below this. That's what we're looking for, basically, right? And if I now flip it over to the hourly, and I know exactly what's going to happen, look at that. It puts it on that level that we said that, you know, we want to see a nice little thing. Actually, it's giving us 49,340, which is actually awesome. So this is pretty much in confluence with this actual trend line, right? But as I said, if you look at different time frames, you're going to see different data. So that's what's important to see. Ultimately, we're not confirmed. We're not at the 58K. So don't get too excited. Because remember what I've been telling you all this time is this weekly, right? This weekly, what we've had so far. So this is the data that you should be looking at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks now. We're obviously 1 day in. But also look at this stochastic RSI. We are way above the line. We are very, very high right now. However, the RSI is telling we do have some more room, which is great. But this is another thing that worries me as well when I'm looking at the volume, right? How low it is. So what we need, this candle, obviously this is starting of the week. We need a nice little volume to take us at least above this, right? And start creating a brand new trend going up like this. That's what we want. That's confluence for us. That's giving us confirmation that the market wants to go up. Right now, the market's just saying this looks like a blatant fake out, right? If we look at lower time frames, what do we see? Same thing. Look how the volume's been dropping off. Daily, guys. I'm not even talking about weekly. This is daily. Look how it's been dropping off. I mean, it was steep here, for example, and then look how it just kept on dropping off. That is a bearish divergence in a bullish trend. So we can't ignore this. Do you know what I mean? We can't ignore this. You know, I know I'm gonna have to turn around and say, guys, told you so. So, you know, even on the 4 hourly, it's been fine. I mean, we've had a few peaks. That's not that bad. So these are shorter time frames, guys. You can't really use this data to basically judge what's going on. I mean, if you look at this, like we had a few hours of bullish, few hours of bearish. You can't use that. If you're trading, buying and selling, right, on the spot, then absolutely you can use this data. This will help you. But if you're not, you shouldn't be really looking at this kind of data. What we're looking at is a bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that, you know, for us, we knew this white line that we put in, I'm going to show you the chart as well, is going to be a massive resistance, right? So let me move into the other charts just to show you. So these are my older charts, and you can see how basically this box, you know, everything is still there. We drew this box just recently. Look, we didn't even go past this. We didn't even go to the actual level that we were supposed to, right? And remember, whenever we do this, we look for the actual data, and the data that we look for are around these areas here. Right, we're looking at this level. This is that resistance that we drew on the top of this line, and this is what we need to break above, and we didn't, right? So we're still low, you can see. So this is the real data when you're looking at it. Remember, the wicks are just the story of what really happened. So we can see we really did win, but the bears took control, and then the bulls came back again, and the bulls took control. So that's what it is, just a storytelling, nothing else. But yeah, I mean, other than that, look, this trend line is solid. I talked about it the other day. This trend line is solid, and funnily, right, this trend line was drawn some time back, and funnily, we are actually kind of holding that trend line as well, which is awesome, right? You know, but again, bottom of the channel, as you can see, worst case scenario, we are looking at the 47,840, which is okay, not bad. But again, we're not taking anything as a guarantee right now. We're not saying, oh, this could be the case or that could be the case. We're not doing that. We're not going to turn around and say, oh, you know, for example, I'll do a 4 hourly here, and also let me delete some of these lines. Actually, no, I'm going to leave them, right? Let's do a 4 hourly and say, okay, 4 hourly, what's the worst case scenario we could possibly have on a 4 hourly? So we know in the 4 hourly we had this particular low. We're not going to use the wick, we're going to use the body. I'm going to say, well, this was a significant low, a nice little support zone. So what can we see from there, right? Well, it's telling us basically pretty much, this is hilarious, right? Look at this, the 49,279, just what we talked about the earlier on, basically. So that's the scenario. If we were to go up, bull case scenario, then again we can use the same data, same lines, same areas, and we can do this on the body, and we can say, okay, if we are going to break out, then we should be going to the 51,583, right? Are we getting a confirmation on this 51,000? Pretty much the top of this channel is the 51,000, I believe, if I'm correct. Almost 51. It's just basically about $30 off from the 51. So we need to break above this and confirm, guys, ultimately, right? Let's go into another chart, and I'll put it on the daily just so you understand what's going on. We did peak above this, which is a very, very significant zone. That's the 50k zone, but we didn't confirm. So we need to go above and confirm, and what we need is a candle to show this to us. This is the action we need. Go above, confirm, and then move up. All right, so let's see what happens. A few more days. You know, it is kind of the beginning of the week. Let's see how the middle of the week and the end of the week actually play out. That's more important. So yeah, same again. This is actually the Bitcoin dominance chart, and on the dominance chart, what you're seeing is basically how the dominance has been kind of dropping off, which gives a chance to the alts. So let's reduce this a little bit more. Let's change the color to a fancy color that I like. There you go. Dominance chart, right? Also on the dominance, you can see that we are in a critical zone. If BTC does start pumping from here and starts picking dominance up again, then confirmed we are definitely in a bull market. This bull market confirmation is going to be when BTC comes back to these zones and beats these, right? When all of this starts pumping, right? That's what you need to look out for. Ethereum, I did an Ethereum dominance as well, and this is a good indicator. I told you Ethereum was a great indicator to see exactly what the market is doing, and Ethereum dominance is starting to pick up a little bit. It's at a brilliant zone. This is exactly what we need to see, and if we want to see the alts truly pump, right, the major ones, this is a good indicator. When this, I mean, this is already a good buy zone, but if this starts to flip back up, this is when we know Ethereum's going to top up, and this should bring us back to these levels and actually break through. So far, it's been on an upward trend line. So Ethereum dominance is also playing a part, right? I'm going to move over to Ethereum right now just to show you what I mean, right? So yesterday, obviously, when we were looking at the hourly and everything, I did say, keep an eye on this, and we did use this, right? This was more of a confirmation saying, yes, what BTC is doing, Ethereum's also doing, which is good. But one of the best part about all of this is if you look carefully, right? And this is on the 4-hourly, actually 4-hourly. Look at this. It broke above, came down, confirmed, tested again, broke down again, but kept on confirming and confirmed this as a support line. And this is not a new line. This is a line that we drew sometime back, a few days ago, right? We drew this. So this was really, really awesome. Very good to see. And I mean, I was just shocked like how these lines were playing out. I was like, wow, okay, look at this. On a daily, we drew these lines a few days back and look how beautiful it's been. So this is good. As long as we can close above this line, this is confirmation that BTC is moving up. I did another one here basically, and this was a shorter one. This one's the one I not this exact one. I didn't do it with this, and I'll show you what I mean. I actually did post this to what would you call this, to Twitter, and I said looks amazing, and you can see a bull flag forming. And how do you find a bull flag? It's very simple. You take the low, you take the top, right, and you measure, and you do this, and that gives you your flagpole, right? Once we got the flagpole body, right, we're going to use the body. Once we've got the flagpole, we can then take that, grab this, and we can put it on this particular zone where the high is. For example, this high here, we can put it here, and we can then get a target which is showing us the 4,989. And I did mention this, I'm seeing a 5k. This is what I'm seeing the 5k based on. Do you know what I mean? If this bull flag breaks out, we're seeing a 5k. Also, when I was looking at the Elliott wave pattern, right, which you do know how it works, right? So we had a 1 2 3, and this was playing out perfect. So this was 1, this was 2, and I'll change the color for you, 2, and this was 3. Now 3 normally when it does break out is usually the longest section, right? So when we're looking at this, it is actually longer than everything else. And I'll change the color just to show you what I mean. Let's put it on yellow. Let's put it on green. Nope. Let's put it on red. Yeah, red. Let's put it on red. So what we're looking at, guys, is this here, right? So what happens is when we have an Elliott wave pattern, leg 1 is usually kind of short, leg 2 is kind of shorter, 3 is usually the longest, right? Is usually the longest. So that could propel us way above this. But even then, if we just use this minimum target, this is great. This is great. And this is what I was talking about. This sideways action is brilliant because it gave us these areas, right, where we can actually now see our previous low, draw up to the previous like high, technical, not previous, but recent high, use this as the recent bottom, and then if we shoot and we say, if that's the breakout target, where does it take us? Guys, this is gonna, if this breaks out, right, it's gonna take us to the moon. There's no target. I mean, apart from this one target, you can use this as in a target area. There is no other target after this, you know what I mean? So for me, I mean, I'm just like extra bullish right now on Ethereum. I don't even know what to do, but saying that, I'm not going to be buying anymore. Whatever I'm holding, I'm just bullish on that, and I want to see this breakout. This breakout is going to confirm everything BTC is doing here. Trust me, that's what I've been going on about, right? Anything BTC is doing right now, Ethereum is the one that's going to be showing us, guiding. So it's going to guide us, and it's going to basically hopefully pump up, right? So that's what I'm looking at. So far everything seems okay. Also, one other thing I wanted to do was, while I'm here, if I use this particular zone here and we do a projection and we say, right, what could be the highest we could go, right, at this current moment. So we're using this as a projection. You can see that if we did do this breakout, then even the Fibonacci, and I want to show it, let me move this away. Let me put this here because I did just randomly put it anyway. Fibonacci's are showing us a $4,331 coin, which is awesome. This is why I kind of, done this, and I said, like, let me see what's going on. But this is what it is, a bull flag, clear bull flag. Also, if you look at this, so we had a W, right? So this was a double bottom breakout, great, and we formed the first bottom here. We might even form another bottom, right? But we might not. This could be the flag. If this is the flag, then it just break out. There's no other bottoms. This is, you know what I mean? This is why I'm extra bullish on this. So yeah, everything looking awesome. Also, if you look at the entire market cap, some of these coins have been performing very well. In fact, BNB did hit the $500 mark again, which was kind of awesome. If we look at the top 200 gainers, Cardano's still, it's pumping. It's pumping $3. Remember, guys, we talked about a $4 Cardano this year. We're coming to that $4 Cardano. If we go there, then we do another analysis and we see how far it can go. And we're going to be realistic. So we are targeting the $4. We did say that by the end of the year we could see a $4, and I think we're going there right now. But I'm still going to observe it closely up to the 12th of September. BNB, let's see if we can get back to the all-time high. We should be awesome over there. AVAX was really good. It was a great buy. I think some of the guys here bought it for like $2. So that was really, really cool. I was looking at the... actually, let's have a look at top losers. I'm sure they're just going to be a whole bunch of shit coins. Let's have a look. Oh, damn, okay. That's surprising. I was looking at the top 200 losers, and we've got Solana on there, Atom on there, Algo, Near. Wow, okay, so some good coins there, some good names are there, which is insane. I mean, this is stupid, but that was insane. But that's cool though. That's cool looking at this. Not much up. 4% down, nothing. This is a small correction that gives us enough opportunity for us to go back and probably start pumping. Let's have a look and see what Solana's doing. Sol USD. Sol is smashing targets. Sol has smashed another target. Sol is on another level. We know this, right? So from this point onwards, we can actually start seeing Sol, if it does correct. I mean, you know, it can probably come and bounce on these lines. I'm not really looking at that much because Solana's just pumping. It's on a rip. So what I'm seeing is basically if we did do a nice little pump again, remember I told you we're looking at $112 Solana, and that's what I'm waiting for. So right now I'm just patient, holding back, sitting around and seeing what's going on. Looking at Ethereum, leaving exchanges, still continuing to leave exchanges every day, which is awesome. BTC was concerning though, I'll be honest with you. So BTC was a little bit concerning for me. So what I did was I was zoomed into BTC and I was looking, you know, BTC price moving up, and it did come back in for a brief moment. I think a lot of people are kind of being cautious, but now again, some coins have started to leave again, which is really, really awesome to see. So that was cool. I was looking at the heat map, and let me refresh this for you. I was looking at the heat map, and as you can see, heat map, we're getting into that. Well, not the darkest. What we would really love is these dark areas here, you know what I mean, right? But ultimately coming from a slightly light bluish coming to a darker bluish, like these areas here, brilliant guys. This is indicating the perfect buy zone. So it's still telling us this is still cheap, you know what I mean? So there's no financial advice, but it's telling us this is cheap. So that was really, really cool to see. I was looking at liquidations, and let's have a look at the period. Let's have a look at the last 12 hours and see how many people got wiped out and who got wiped out. So yeah, again, look, bulls got wiped out, you know what I mean? So this is why I've been staying away. Remember I told you, I think it was in yesterday's video, I said to you guys, I said that I'm not going to jump into the trade or anything. I'm just going to stand on the sideline. That's exactly what I did. I was supposed to have a trade at 50. I didn't. Okay, I didn't have the trade at 50 because this is just so dangerous. So I don't want to play this game. I'm just holding on the sidelines. And also when I was looking at my Hull moving average, let's just find this, right? We're looking at the Hull moving average. You can see that we're nowhere near. Well, we are close enough, but we haven't topped. We haven't gone above. And you see where we got rejected just before that line. Just before. So remember, this line is changing every week, every day, right? So what we need to do. So what is cheap? Cheap. BTC is cheap, bro. BTC is cheap. I'm telling you, BTC is cheap. Okay, everything is cheap, right? You need to concentrate. I'll tell you what's cheap again. Anyway, give me a second. I'll show you what I mean by cheap. So Hull moving average, we know that as soon as we go above this line, that's when I'm going to basically go insane. So not before that. So even though we did have it at 50 recently, as you can see, that line is still there, but it moved, right? So this line has moved. It's not sitting at the 50 anymore. It's constantly been evolving. Pretty much every day it's been moving up. So as you can see, it's been moving up. Now it's more like the 51,000, right? And right, let's talk about BTC being cheap. I'll show you what BTC cheap looks like, bro. Let's get into this. Let's do a BTC being cheap. Bro, let me show you. Anything below this blue line is cheap. Anything below this blue line is cheap. We talked about it, right? Whenever you can buy below this blue line, it's cheap. Maybe not for today, maybe not for tomorrow, but trust me, it's always cheap when you buy below these lines. When it goes above these lines, this is when it gets really expensive, and this is when you need to start getting rid of it, right? Yes, heat map, I'm showing you. So when you're looking at the heat map, let's reset this heat map and I'll show you what I mean, right? So look at this heat map, and what you're seeing is whenever we're in these dark blue areas or even these purple areas, like look, we haven't had purple for a very long time, right? These purple areas here, right? Or whenever we're in these blue areas here, right? These are the buying zones. Look, these are all buying zones, by the way. Every blue area is a buying zone. This is when you buy. When we start going into the green, yellow, orange, red, that's when the market peaks out. You can see this cycle, we went to the green and we almost went to the yellow, like this yellowish green, lime green, or whatever you want to call it. But we didn't go to these orange or red levels. You see what I mean, right? So anything below this line here is cheap, you know, and when we come back to this, all of that area heat map you're seeing is below this blue line. You see, everything is below this blue line. So when you're buying below this blue line, it's all cheap, bro, right? Because we're going to, once we confirm this $50,000 level, not 50, 51 now, but whatever, once we confirm this whole moving average and this blue line here that I drew, right, and we start going into that 58k zone, there's only two things that happens, two scenarios. One, we get dumped. So this one red candle, we get dumped, right? And then we go into a bear market all the way down here. Or we break this and we go to our six-figure target, which is up here. Six-figure target here. Even if we did it this week, for example, that's 127k this week. If we did it next week, it's 128k. If we did it following week, 130k. And you can see this line keeps on moving up and it grows bigger and bigger. So if you bought a 50k BTC today and you know that it's going to go to this line at some point in the future, right? 120k, 30k, 40k, isn't it cheap? It's cheap, bro. Very cheap. Also, guys, is the audio good? Any good? Is the audio sounding better than before, or is it worse than before? What is it? Also, if you have any other questions, throw it at me. If not, then I'm just going to basically probably call it quits today, because I'm not going to, I want to go out and go and have dinner. So, what we're looking at, fear and greed up again. You can see extreme greed. We know what happens when everybody's greedy. So when everyone's greedy, you be fearful, and when everybody's fearful, you be greedy, right? That's what I'm going to say. So this is why, look, I'm not a bear at all. I'm a bull, right? Because I don't see for me being here right now. I'm projecting myself all the way up to 2030, right? So when I'm doing projections, I'm saying, well, what am I going to do in 2030 down here somewhere, right? So I'm looking at these levels here. For example, this doesn't even go to 2030, but let's do 2028, right? 2028. I'm looking at these levels in 2028 and I'm seeing a nice little 2 mils. You know what I mean? A 2 mil. That's the kind of numbers I'm looking for, right? So anything I can buy here right now is cheap, you know? And I've been saying this even in 2018, 2019, 2020 as well, guys. I've said it in many of my videos. So since I've started this channel, like doing the YouTube stuff on this channel, I have mentioned it so many times that whenever you can buy around these levels, it's cheap, it's discount, it's discount. You know what I mean? This is discount. When we're at the 30, that was discount, right? So, you know, you got to look at this stuff. You got to look at it at a different way. Now, let's have a look at the monthly. Monthly looking solid. I'll tell you this, the monthly is looking solid. Remember what I said, the monthly, we're going to have this blue line flip over this red line. Very soon, we're going to have this blue line flip over this red line, and that's when we can go parabolic, right? But look, and once we go there, we can last a good few months. That would be awesome. I mean, this was insane, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of straight up. So of course we're going to see a few reds. You know what I mean? Of course we're going to see a few reds. We might even see another red, but it doesn't matter. Ultimately, there's only one direction it's going, right? And remember, supply, guys, supply. Look at the supply. 18,795,000 BTC already in circulation. How many remaining? This much. Sorry, when you minus this from this, that whatever the amount, 1,000 whatever, that's what's remaining. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, one point something million. So actually, let me do this. Why don't I just do this? It's a bit stupid, right? Minus 2,156. Boom. Boom. That leaves us with 2.2 mil. 2.2 mil. That's what we've got. 2.2 mil. So we've got 2.2 million BTC remaining, and the last coin comes out in 2140. You tell me, is it cheap or not? For me, it's cheap, bro. For me, it's cheap. Obviously, I might not. I mean, I won't live until 2140, but anything I can do in my lifetime, up to even, I'm looking at monthly, right? Even for the next 1 or 2 years, as long as we can peak out, and we have to. We're bound to peak out at some point. So I'm looking for that peak. Once I hit that peak, that's it. I'm out. I'm going to say adios amigos for the last time to everybody. And I'm looking for that 2030. So my target's still 2030. And I believe 2030, and I've mentioned this many times before, any one of you guys new, by the way, like, share, subscribe, smash that like button. But any one of you guys new, I've talked about this. I believe that the institutions and the governments and everybody will adopt it. And I've made a prediction a long time ago. And I said, I will believe they adopt it. And at some point in the future, 2030, around that time-ish, BTC will start to be stable, if that makes any sense, right? It will become a more stable currency. We won't see these volatile moves like, big dumps and big everything. We won't see that. It's going to start to become a lot more, stable, like a stable currency, because the institutions are not going to allow it to dump hard or anything like this. Because remember, most of the companies that are going to be dealing with them, they're going to be like FCA regulated or CTFD or SEC regulated or whatever, right? So because of that, we're really not going to see these dumps anymore, So when we don't see dumps, we can't buy cheap. You know what I mean? So ultimately, that becomes it's bullish, but at the same time, it's kind of useless, because once it's stable, you don't do anything. You only increase price in a few percentage, like the other commodities do, like 4 or 5% a year. That's what this is going to become. And when it becomes that, I'm out. That's what I want to do. But other than that, guys, I hope everybody enjoyed the stream. I didn't see any questions, so I'm assuming nobody wants any other coins or anything. There was one comment somebody made something. I forgot what it was. Let me see if I can find this dumb coin. I'm sure it's a scam coin, but I'll have a look. Right, someone mentioned it, and you know me. If you mention it, I will definitely. What was it? Something Inu. What the? Baki Inu. Yes, it was Baki Inu. What the hell is with Baki? Somebody said, "Can you talk about Baki Inu?" No, I can't talk about it. It doesn't exist on the coin market cap. Means this probably hasn't even come there yet, so there's no point even talking about it. When do we reach the vertical line date? Yemi, okay, that's a hard question to ask, right? I mean, to answer. My bad, sorry. The reason is, so when we're looking at sorry, okay, 1 second. Can you say that again? Vertical line on which chart? The BTC chart that I did before this chart here, that I was doing, this one here, I did it on the hourly, my bad. So this chart here, 1 second, let me get rid of all of this, and let me get rid of this. Right, was it on this chart you're talking about, or are you talking about this Ethereum chart? Can you please clarify that for me? So please do clarify, because when you're looking at that, we can actually sometimes project some dates. We can do that, and most times we can't. But we can actually talk about dates if you want. That's not an issue. There we do have projections, right? So like, for example, we know when we're going to see a nice little dump, right? We know we're seeing on the 27th of August, we're going to see a nice little dump. However, if we break it out and confirm this, we might see it later. So we can give a rough estimate on these things. If you're looking at Ethereum and you want to know about how long it's going to take Ethereum, well, we're on the daily right now. And what we have to do is just take a rough estimation and say, well, if we had a breakout before the 27th, then what will happen? And if we had it after the 27th, what will September do? So for example, if we use this 27th line, so we can use this line here and we can say, okay, our projection is that if we did have a nice little pump, we could have it after the 27th, when the market usually does these kind of patterns, right? Where if you look carefully, these vertical yellow lines here, right? What you're seeing is how whenever it dumps on these options dates, then we end up seeing a pump, right? So we see a pump before, dump, pump, right? We see a pump and then we see a dump. You see what I mean? So we can, here, I can expect a dump, and then a few days later, right? So I'll give it like a week and we can start seeing a pump. Yes, this is the chart. Yeah, this is the chart. So this chart here, I've plotted every single BTC dump date, right? Pump and dump date, basically. And it's easy. You can do it yourself, actually. No joke. It's the last Friday of every month. So if you plot the last Friday of every month, this is when the options expire. Okay, and that's all I've done. And I'm using this as a data point to actually assume when it will dump. So the next dump we're expecting should be either before or on or after, right? So we've got 2 weeks basically of us. And because remember, weekly, we've been seeing all of this pumps, right? So every week we've been having this pump. This week is going to pump. I think at the end, when we do finish on the 27th, I think that's when we're going to see the dump. It should be on or around the 27th. Usually, I've noticed it's like, I give it a 48 hours, but usually it's 24 hours up and down. But I still, just to be safe, I say 48 hours before or after. But normally around that time. And this is the week I'm usually most cautious, by the way. So I stay cautious there. And then after whatever happens, right, and we have to observe it on a daily. So after whatever happens on that, so for example, if we're green, then I expect it to be red, right? And if we're red, then I expect it to be green. You see what I mean? So that's how I play the game, but I'm cautious either way. So if I see a red here, I know I'm going to be positive here. If I see, for example, on this one, I saw a red, I knew we're going to be positive. And if you look, there's like a 24 to 48 hour gap between when this action happens, right? 24 to 48 hours. And that's because this dump always happens on the last Friday of the month. So quite funnily, then the 2 days that we see are the Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday is when we start deciding. So that's why I keep a 48-hour gap there, right? So yeah, the next dump I'm expecting is the 27th, guys, 27th. So that, and when this dump happens, the whole market will react. Also, Ethereum will also react as well. You know what I mean? Because a lot of Ethereum, I mean, not a lot. There's a few Ethereum options as well on the same day, by the way. So you can use that data, those dates. Remember, it's the last Friday of every month. You can plot it, you can mark it on a calendar, and you'll know exactly when to expect a nice little dump or around that time. It gives you a rough indication. So I'll just use those kind of timescale. Even lunar cycles, you can use moon cycles as well. Some people use lunar cycle, and I do as well, but not to the heaviest thing. Some people trade with it. I don't. For me, simple lines and Fibonacci's, they work the best. I'm telling you, the more simple the chart is, the better. Like when I'm going to use an indicator, my indicator is going to be the RSI, stochastic RSI. I'll use the money flow indicator as well. So I want to know how much money is coming in. I'll use that. But most times I don't even bother. For me, a simple line, a simple Fibonacci, I'll draw my range, a box, and I'll know exactly where the traffic is based on, and the way I do it is this way, based on these line charts. How about you chart Rune and AVAX again? Of course, let's do Rune for you, no worries. Rune BTC. Rune is on another level. Look at Rune. Look at Rune. This is insane. This is insane. All right. This chart, by the way, was drawn when Rune was down here somewhere. We were drawing this. This is an old thing. Let's get a new one there, right? So what we can see on the Rune, we can do two. Okay, we can do 2 data points here. Also, we're looking at this particular neckline. So Rune still has to break above this in order for it to kind of reverse the trend. Until then, it's not really 100% safe. But if we did do a nice little projection on this and say, all right, what's the short-term scenario? Well, short-term, we've got this lovely little zone here. We've got this area here. We can see that we are going to break above this on the short-term as long as the market's going. And we can see a nice little $15.64 on the Rune. And if we are to move downwards, then we can use the exact same data points and actually test how low we can go. And on this, according to this, the Fibonacci 618 is saying $8.74. But if you're looking at a long-term projection, right, so slightly longer than this, not the longest, but long-term, we can then take this same data and we say, all right, okay, what's the longer-term potential? Well, we're seeing a $17, which is awesome. Because see this area here, when I'm looking at that $17, I see this traffic zone, it literally enters this. From that point onwards, we can decide whether to go up or down. So that would be quite cool. But so far, look, everything's looking good. Momentum's looking good. Market direction is looking good. you know, when we're looking at the line, look at this, beautiful. If we can bounce around this, right, you know, come back down here, do whatever, as long as we can do this kind of move, we're fine. You know what I mean? We're absolutely fine. There is one pattern I am seeing which is kind of concerning, so but that's not a pattern on this, it's a pattern on everything, right? This divergence, you see this, when you look at this wedge, it's a rising wedge, and rising wedges are usually bearish. But I am kind of ignoring this because as long as the market momentum is up, it doesn't matter, honestly. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm going to say basically. So obviously, if the market is continuously pumping, or you know, money going into the alts and this and that, ultimately this pattern can be rejected. So these patterns are not 100%. They're just there as a pattern, but they don't mean 100% guaranteed we're going to go down or we're going to go up like this. So, you know, it's a bearish pattern, but it doesn't mean it has to play out. You know what I mean? Also, the reason I'm saying this is if you look carefully, and I'll show you what I'm showing. So if you look at this, this has now become our little triangle, call it a little triangle, whatever. I won't go all the way to the end, but, you know, this is a major, it's become more of a major kind of a, it's a moving support line, moving resistance line. Let's call it a moving resistance. So this would adjust, right? It will adjust, right? So you can call it that. But we don't really have anything here. This is all brand new data. This was old data. This is brand new data. So when you're looking at this, only thing we can judge by is the old data, and the old data is giving us points where we might actually find rejections. For example, this would be a lovely little support, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So we'll just draw this here. So if I just put a line here, and you can see how this line was a resistance and how here it becomes a support, right? You see what I mean? Here it becomes like a support, right? So you can use these data points to see what's going on. But what we're looking for is this peak here. We need to just go above this peak and we're fine, you know, and then after that we're off to the races, you know. So that should be quite good. You want to look for AVAX. Let's have a look at AVAX. Avalanche is not ready, but Avalanche is coming. I'm telling you, Avalanche is coming. This is a very, very old chart, and we broke the target. So let's get rid of all of this. I mean, this is just insane. We're about to hit the all-time high. We broke this neckline, which is fantastic. This is exactly where we needed to go, you know, be bullish on, right? So this was the area that we had to break. We broke that line. So far, if we're looking at, let's have a look and see. There isn't. So we have no choice but to use this data. So for example, where we are today, we can use this data, like just before, like yesterday, I believe. You can use the data and do a projection, and we can see AVAX is looking at $65, right? $65, which is brilliant compared to where we were before, right? So, you know, when we did this projection, I remember we were down here and we were projecting, we were saying, right, how far can we go? We were looking at this level and we did that. Another level we were looking at the peak, right, from there, and we said, how far can we go, right? And it was showing us a 87. So 87, 60, 87 and 1 second, let me get this thing correct again. Zoom out. 87 and 65, guys, not bad, you know. I mean, for me, 65 is great. If we can get 65, that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. BTC is not at its all-time high, so if we can get a 65 before BTC goes to an all-time high, that's brilliant, because once BTC goes back to the all-time high, we know these coins are going to pump. We might see that 87, might even see $100. But at that time, what I'm going to say to everybody, and you've got to be very cautious, right? When we hit those levels, so what we're looking at, and we're going to use, remember, we're using BTC and Ethereum as an indicator right now. When BTC goes back to its all-time high, and if these altcoins have started to pump, and you know, wherever level they are right now before BTC goes to that all-time high, that's a great opportunity. And after that, we know BTC is going to carry everything. Also, Ethereum is going to do the same thing. Ethereum will also carry everything as well, right? Ethereum will also carry everything. So what we need to do is once we see this previous all-time high broken and everything else is already pumped, and this is great, right? Ethereum and BTC will carry everything forward even more. What you need to do then, and this is only my opinion, not a financial advice, you need to start thinking about taking your initial investments out, right? Just to be safe, because that's when we know we're going parabolic, and when we go parabolic, we usually have a dump and then end up in a bear market, right? So other than that, I've got like about 5 minutes left on my laptop. Battery is about to die because of all that testing and everything I was doing. But I hope this was informative. Thank you very much for all of you guys for coming. Please like, share, subscribe, share with another if you find value, and let's grow this channel. Let's be awesome together. you know, and every one of you guys that come to these chats, you guys are epic, 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 you know. So yeah, I'm not gonna make this any longer. I want to go out, taking the family out. We're going out for dinner. So yeah, catch you on another one very soon. And yeah, please let me know in the comments, if you're watching later, let me know in the comments basically if you have any coins or anything you want to talk about. Obviously, if it's in the coin market cap, I'll talk about it. I won't talk about anything that's not in the coin market cap, guys. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to talk about something that's already in the broader audience, right? The audience can see. I'm not going to talk about something that you're going to have to go and look somewhere and find somewhere. I'm not going to do that. I don't like to shill coins. I don't like to pump coins. I don't like to even talk about coins on these videos. Like, for example, yesterday I talked about one coin. I believe I dropped it on the WhatsApp group, private group, obviously. It was Audius, and I said I'm not buying any. If you want, you can talk about it, but you know, if you want to go and check it out, check it. It's going to pump, but I'm personally not buying any. I'm going to wait for the dump. I've mentioned it many times. I'm going to stick to my guns. Basically, I've made sure everybody knows that for me, the only time I'm going to be buying anything now, all right, the only time I'm going to be buying any more altcoins, because I've got plenty, the only time I will be thinking about buying altcoins again is when we see BTC come back to these levels here. And doesn't matter how long it takes, if it takes 6 months, a year, you know, 5 years, when BTC comes back to these levels here, this line here, that's when I want to buy altcoins again, because I know if I buy it here, I can do a nice little 100, 200x, maybe even 1000x. And you can do that as long as you know what you're doing and you plan for it, guys. You got to plan for it. You can't just enter blind and go all FOMO into it, right? It doesn't help. You know, I was telling people on this channel as well, when we were all bloody around here and all the coins on the market cap were showing like this level here, on all the coins here were like 70-80% down. I was like, guys, this is your discount. This is what you should be buying. But a lot of people were fearful. There are a few people who did benefit from it. This market dump, the market dump, we had like 55% BTC dump, didn't even bother them. They're all breaking even or actually in profit. A lot of the guys are in profit even though the market was down. So now when BTC goes back to the higher prices, they've made even more than before. So other than that, guys, no financial advice. Like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you on another one. I've got like 2 minutes left on the battery, so I don't want to die on the stream. So I'll see you on another one very soon. And I hope the audio and everything was okay. I hope the video was okay as well. Also, I upgraded the frame rate, so that now the frame rate should be 1080 60p 60 pixels, sorry, 60 frames per second. And you know, hopefully you're getting a better thing as well. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your questions. This is how we need it. We need the community to talk to each other and communicate. You know what I mean? So if I can help you and see the light and keep you calm and you know, look at things clearly, that's what I'm here for, right? I'm not here to do anything else, right? This is the unique thing. I'm not here to give you BS, guys, right? So thank you very much for coming. I'll see you on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos.